Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Between the Lines talk show, where we continue to do our tradition of keeping a consistent schedule and then falling off the boat. But we fight tooth and nail to continue on with this. It is currently June 15th, one day before my actual birthday, and lots of stuff to discuss because we did not have a May episode. With me, as always, is my great co-host, Jake. How you doing, Jake?
I am doing outstanding, Xander. And might I just say that, one of those episodes was the April Fool's episode, which we got lost audio on. So that's not really our fault. We were there recording that day. We did our due diligence.
We were.
All right, we've been trying with this show. We're trying.
To go a little behind the scenes, we did have an April Fool's Day episode in which I had Jake pretend to be the host of my show, and I had him just completely riff, and we did a whole shit talk of each other's medias and stuff.
Audience, you had to be there is the real answer to the question.
It was really good. It was fun, but unfortunately, my audio just decided to go
Tragic.
and fucked up, and you can hear it in the Universal Monsters podcast. I think you were able to save it, right, Jake? Or something happened to it.
Yeah, I did some editing tricks and did what I could.
But my actual episode was just completely toast, and I was like, fuck it. And then May we tried to do, but May was just such a stacked fucking month, man. I feel like everything was off. And June has become a stat. We had to fight tooth and nail just to get today's episode out. But with that said, I'll go into mine in a second. But Jake, how's your life been recently?
We're going all right. We're out here. We're balling. We're living. Saw a few new movies, which I'm sure we'll discuss, and I'm really excited to talk about them. Nice. In terms of my life here, I completed another book. I got the copyright, came in the mail, showed you the nice little frame I have for it, and now I'm just querying agents. We're in the query trenches. We're out here. We're not thriving. It's depressing, but you know what? We're trying. And last night at midnight, when I was getting ready to go to bed, idea struck for another book, and the nature of the book means that I can't tell anyone about what it's about, because it really relies on the last couple chapters, and when you know that, it kind of impacts your experience going through. So suffice to say that in a year and a half, check up on me, and then you can read it yourself.
All right, well, we'll stay in tune for that. That sounds really fun. As for me, huge life news. The big reason why May was so fucked, I have finally moved into my very own first apartment. I moved in with my partner and one of my good friends, Garrett, and I have my own apartment.
Hell yeah!
If you're wondering what it looks like, go on Hot Quality Content and check out the Universal Monsters podcast. And you will see, funny enough, you will see the evolution of it.
The episode of Spanish Dracula, I think it's number 16 is our episode.
Right.
Sometimes, audience, we do this thing where we record the episode earlier in the month, and then later that month we'll record the news to get the freshest news. And Xander's bedroom, transforms completely because that was the process in which he was moving. So it's just he's in a different reality during the news segment versus on the rest of the show.
It's quite hilarious. It's a shame that we never got to do it where that episode first takes place in my old room, and then the new room, and then the new organized version of that new room. That would have been hilarious.
It would have been. But hey, we literally just hit stop record on the latest episode of the show, the Universal Monsters podcast, and that one will in fact feature the infancy iteration of your brand new apartment with all of its bells and whistles everywhere. So hell yeah.
Exactly. It's been fun moving in. It's been stressful. It's taken a lot of time because me being me, I need to set up everything as efficiently as possible, make sure all the wiring is good. utilize every single inch of space as possible because I am a collector and I display my collection stuff. I've built so many shelves and tables and everything. There's a little outdoor patio. We're on a 3rd floor. There's a little outdoor patio we have that has a outdoor closet that I have renovated into a little workshop area for myself. There's so many things, but it's been nice to have my own place and very fun. Just last night, me and my roommates were trying to strategize how the hell the electricity bill is going up and how what's eating the most electricity, and we'll keep you updated on that.
You gotta get some solar panels, my guy.
Yeah, but that's been really fun. But yeah, that's the biggest life update. And yeah, June, so many things have fucking happened in June. We've been shooting. We're almost done with production.
Yay!
And obviously my birthday and my partner's birthday is later this month too. So now June's just a fucking stacked place.
Alrighty, it's Mario's turn. Uh-oh, Game Boy fall off. Okie dokie, here we go. Mamma mia, that's some...
Mario Golf on Game Boy Color.
Get into it.
Moving on, though, to video games we've been playing. Jake, what kind of video games have you been up to?
I, as of, very recently, have finished... I beat Star Wars Jedi Survivor a couple weeks ago. I love the game. I think it's better than Fallen Order in just about every way. I have a few criticisms here and there, but I think it's really just, a standout improvement. And I've been on a trophy hunt on the PlayStation Store to, get and achieve every single trophy for that game. And the conundrum happens that I have 2 trophies left. And one of them is the trophy you get when you get all the trophies, so really I have 1 trophy left. And it's not even a hard trophy to get, but you need to use your allies in combat 10 times each. And I have 2 allies. One of my allies betrays me over the course of the story. So now that I've beaten the game, I can't go back. I have to start a new game just to get to that point in the game and then use him 10 times in combat to get that trophy. So I literally can't get that trophy until I get a new game plus and start over. And I don't care enough to do all of that, It's just a whole thing. So yeah. I'm going to sit, I think I'm done with the game right now. I'm going to sit and let it cook for maybe a year or 2, and then when I think in the future, I think I want to go back to that game, then I'll start New Game Plus on that and then get the last damn trophy and finally be happy with myself.
As for me, I have a complete journey to tell. When I first started moving, as I was getting my stuff, I had turned my TV on, my precious 4K on, to turn off my my PS4 so that I could unplug everything. My TV had interesting display issues. That TV's toast. I don't know what's wrong with the display. It won't turn on. Everything's off. And this was in the middle of moving. So for a good month, I had no TV because I was like, well, let me try to fix it with one of the panels. Didn't work, and I finally decided, all right, Xander, you're just gonna have to buck up and drop mad cash on a new 4K. And so now I have a 55-inch brand new 4K TV, which is very nice. Looks very beautiful. But along with the Best Buy protection plan, it cost me $1,027, and I died inside a little bit. I put it on my credit card, and I still haven't brought myself out to pay the whole amount yet. But I will be. But anyways, so for a little bit there, I was playing on my Steam Deck. I was playing Star Wars The Force Unleashed, which I absolutely love that game. That game's so much fun. And then after I got the TV set up, I set up my PS5, and I started Spider-Man 2, and I gotta say, holy fuck, that opening is insane. Yes. The one shot where Miles gets fucking punched through half of New York,
yes,
and then flies straight back was so insane. I loved it.
It was the best thing ever.
And I've been playing that off and on. It's really interesting. It's so funny too because you have all the brand new suits for both of them, and as soon as I could, I opened it up and I made Peter go back to his classic red and blue. Except though, because there's different variations, I did the red and black because I liked how
it looks pretty
looked,
good.
and
Yeah,
I was like, now we're cooking.
Yeah.
I hate the PS4 Spider-Man outfit. I'm not a fan of the advanced suit. I think it looks too much. So just give me the good old classic webs and I'm good.
Yeah. No, the game is so fun. Both of those games are just like ridiculously good.
It really is. It's insane. I still got a long way to go, but I've been playing it off and on. But right now, I kind of jumped back onto my Switch and have been playing Fire Emblem Sacred Stones, because it got released on the Game Boy Advanced app, and I was like, fuck yeah, Sacred Stones. So I've just been playing that.
Sick.
A game that I have multiple ways of playing, but even though I've played it 50 times, I'm like, well, time to do the Switch run, baby.
What happened? We thought we could combine different dinosaurs' DNA, but it all went horribly wrong!
Jurassic Park, you chaos effect.
We were surrounded by chaos mutations. Velociraptor, thrashing wings combined with ripping raptor teeth. We fell back to the Tridozer when Chaos Thrasher T-Rex, he turned our plants upside down!
Look for the mark of Jurassic Park, you chaos effect. Figures and vehicles sold separately.
Did you want to talk real quick about what you've been working on and stuff?
I mean, since it's, and this isn't a dig at you, but there's not a lot of people that listen to this show, so it's not a huge deal.
Oh, yeah.
I will drop the title here. It's Ninja Pirates. It's a title that I've now copyrighted, so now only I can make this thing. Although I haven't trademarked it yet, so you can still probably steal the title and do something else. But either way, it's something that I thought of this idea and a way to do this idea, and I was like, this must exist. Surely somebody's done this. Google, nothing. There's Ninjas versus Pirates, which is like an old internet meme, but nothing.
Really?
There's nothing like what I'm going to do. And what I said when I wrote The Devil's League is like, I wrote the book that I've always wanted to read. I subscribe to that notion with everything I'm going to write. And I want to read this book. I want to see this story play out. So now I have to go put my money where my mouth is, and I got to make it.
All right. Interesting. Okay. Well, that... stay tuned for that, audience. And you know what? That is no complete dig. I completely have the self-awareness that I have absolutely no audience, and I just have my 15 loyal viewers, which I love all 15 of you. I don't know who you are, but I hope that listening to this makes the daily chores a little less hard to go through.
Yeah, I only mentioned it in the sense of like, if you had like 10,000 views an episode, I'm not revealing shit about my next book. No way.
As for me, Cold Embrace is going very good. We just shot a very pivotal scene that was we had 3 hours to shoot. We had 22 shots in this one scene, and one of the shots was a 2-page, essentially a monologue. So we got it all done. That was great, and now we only have about a couple more scenes left, and then it's just all post-production from there on, which is crazy to me. I mean, this is almost
hell yeah.
It's almost been a year of my life on this, and I'm astounded. I'm gonna have to go on my way to find some sort of theater or small theater, just some big screen with seats to play this on.
Hell yeah, that's fucking awesome, man.
Do you remember popcorn for you? With Jiffy Pop and Jiffy Pop was so much fun to do. Pop, pop, Jiffy Pop, a microwave popcorn can. Pop, pop, Jiffy Pop, as good as it did back then.
If you thought no microwave popcorn could taste as good as the stovetop Jiffy Pop you loved as a kid, try microwave Jiffy Pop.
Pop, pop, Jiffy Pop, a microwave popcorn can.
There's a segment that I'm just gonna add now for you and I only, exclusive, Jake. Popcorn Bucket Haul. Have we bought any new popcorn buckets? Since
Would
we
you
last
believe
talked?
that I have, Xander? Would you believe that I have indeed bought some new popcorn buckets?
Would you believe that I have too?
No way, that's ridiculous. So, I think you know about most or all of them already, you personally, because I sent them to the Discord chat. But the audience doesn't know.
Yeah.
We talked about the Darth Vader helmet last time, and we talked about the Accountant 2 bucket
Right.
that I got that same day because I was like, there's no way they made a bucket for Accountant 2. Since then, I have gotten the Thunderbolts limo with evil Captain
Okay.
America's shield on the back windshield blocking the bullets. And I haven't set that up yet, but it's literally lying against the shelf over there. And then the latest bucket I got, which I still have not set up yet, is the Mission Impossible bucket. Now, I really wanted the Mission Impossible bucket, I think from Regal or Cinemark, the one that had the golden key. The golden key one was like the coolest thing ever because I wanted that little prop. But I gotta say, it's such a simple design, this one, and it's a lot cheaper and smaller because it is just a literal bucket, but it's got stunts from all 8 films around the bucket, and it's set up like an octagon because there's 8 films, and the top of the bucket looks like a stop sign, but it's just so cool because you spin it around, and it's like, wow, that's like a celebration of all of them. So I think I like this one the best, so I'm really happy with I'm now no longer hunting for the golden key one. I'm really happy.
I agree with you. I wanted that golden key one, and by the time I had the chance, it was gone. And my friend Garrett, who works at the Regal, I was like, "Do they have any more?" He's like, "No, we sold out really
They
quick."
did.
I was like,
They
"Damn."
did sold out.
And so opening night, when I went to AMC, you know, they had one where it was like a briefcase.
Yeah, they had the briefcase.
And like a drink thing. And then they had the octagon. And I remember, because I had bought it and I showed you guys on the Discord. I was like, I agree. I really love it. It's a great tribute to the franchise, full of stunts. And I think it's a great bucket. You know, I'm always a fan of the nice metal tin. I like that it's an octagon. So I'm here with you. Great bucket. Amazing bucket. Love it.
It's kind of funny because, like, you and I are opposite. I don't like just a normal tin with pictures on it, but this is, like, the exception of exceptions. Like, this is so cool.
It's nice to see that you agree with me on this. And, yeah, so I agree. I love that Mission Impossible bucket.
Yep.
The next bucket on the list, though, I have finally pulled a Jake. I have dropped mad cash on a popcorn series of collections. Me and my partner went to see Ballerina a couple nights ago with my mom, and he had a ticket or like a little coupon thing, the birthday popcorn. And so he's like, I'm going to get my large popcorn. So we go up there, we get the large popcorn, and I see that they have the Jaws stuff because they released a Jaws head that's a popcorn bucket. So like you open the mouth opens up and you can fill it up with popcorn. And I had seen this floating around. I'm like, okay, cool, that's great. Unfortunately, AMC decided that they wanted to take my wallet hostage today because not only did they release that, they have a cup that recreates the famous poster, and then they have a regular bucket that's this big ass metal tin that with like a little handle that's almost like a sand pail that recreates the poster billboard of Welcome to Amity Island with the shark girl on the front of it.
Yep.
And you can have all 3 of these amazing items for the low price of $80.
Oh boy.
But granted though, this cup, unlike most of the cups, it's actually really cool. It's rubberized and it's all 3D. And so it has the shark, it has that, it has a 50th anniversary on the back, it shows the little ship, and it says like you're gonna need a bigger boat. But it's all like this rubberized 3D, and it looks really nice. I like it. But yeah, I looked at all 3, and I was like, do you guys still have the shark head? And like, yeah, and I'm like, making an awful financial decision, but I'll take it all. And so I dropped $80.
Yep.
And because both popcorn buckets were large popcorns, they came with a large popcorn. So me and my partner walk into Ballerina with 3 large buckets of popcorn. And I just handed one to my mom and I go, have at it.
That's tremendous. I think it's so funny too, because like the way I think about it is like when I dropped $80 on a bunch of popcorn buckets, I'm sitting there like, okay, how much do I get paid an hour how many hours would it take for me to work up to $80? Okay, so this morning at work when I was there, the first, like, what, 3, 4, whatever hours is all just for these buckets. Okay, fine, I'll take that L. It's as if I showed up late to work.
I mean,
you know?
If I'm being honest, that's just 4 hours of work for me based off my job, which
after taxes, me
I'm
too.
Usually, typically doing, so it's not that bad.
When I play Terminator 2 with the Sega Menacer, I'm not afraid of deadly hunter killers, the indestructible T-1000, endless endoskeletons, the evil Skynet. Nothing.
Bobby, come give your Aunt Bertha a big kiss.
Well, almost nothing.
Movies we have seen, Jake. I will let you get back on this.
Well, I want to start things off here by saying that the 2 best action movies of the year came out, I think, a week apart recently. So I guess I'll start with the big obvious one and just say Ballerina from the world of John Wick. What do you think about this movie before I pop off?
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Ballerina. That said, if you had told me that they filmed this while they were filming Chapter 4, I would have believed you, because as good as it is, this feels like a more high-budget version of John Wick Chapter 1, where it like kind of follows the same beats. We kind of have a lot more lore, a lot more story. There are action scenes, but there's not as insane as they get. And the stunts and camera work definitely don't feel as to the level of John Wick Chapter 4. Like, you're not getting that insane camera overhead shot and stuff, things like that. There's still a lot of cool action moments, don't get me wrong, I love it. But it's definitely okay, this feels more like Chapter 1 than it feels like a Chapter 4 type film. And that said, I'll forgive it. I mean, Ballerina, they're trying to get this new thing off the ground, which, based off the revenue it's made, might not happen. I hope they continue on with it, but who knows at this point. And the only other thing is, Jane Ballerina, she sure does love fucking grenades.
Oh, yo.
There are so many grenades used in this movie.
You're so right. The grenades as a melee weapon is an insane choice. I was going in with high expectations because it says John Wick on it, so those movies are only excellent for me. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, high expectations, but it's tampered with the fact that Len Wiseman is directing this movie. Now, he is a director who I think has only made bad films. But I really enjoy the Underworld series for what they are. I don't think they're they're not going to win any Oscars, those movies, but I think they're enjoyable for what they are. Plus, I'm a Universal monster geek. This is vampires versus werewolves. So I'm on default into that. Just, you're kind of cheating by getting me into that. So Len Wiseman, otherwise, he did what? The reboot of Total Recall with Colin Farrell, like that. Sure, it's got stuff going for it, but that's a very bad movie. And he casts his wife in everything he does. And so I'm thinking about Ballerina, and I'm like, okay, if they can make it more like the John Wick movies and less like a Lens Flairman movie, I'm thinking, okay, you know what? Maybe we got something here. They did. Now, caveat, the script, not that the John Wicks are the greatest scripts of all time or anything, but at least I'm interested in the actual story in all 4 chapters. This one, Ballerina, was the most generic story. Oh, my dad died out for revenge. I became an assassin to go kill people involved. And John Wick 1 is similar, but it does interesting new things. Nobody's killed the dog to motivate anyone in Hollywood yet. That was the first time that's happened. That was a big fuck you moment. So Ballerina felt very, very generic in terms of the story, but I'm very happy to report that the story is less than half of the runtime, because the vast majority of scenes are people getting grenades shoved up their asses and fired out of a bazooka and somebody kick-flipping someone through a fucking building and everything explodes and flamethrowers being used as a punching fist. Dude, this is crazy shit. The action in this film is insane, and it fits perfectly with the John Wick style of mundane that becomes over the top and then back to mundane. And It's just so creatively done. It felt like they did not hold back at all with the action scenes. They were like, what's the craziest, most interesting way to do this action scene that no one's seen it done before? I know. Let's have grenades in confined, closed spaces, like in this like bunker or this cottage, basically, where like every room is like maximum 10 feet wide. Let's have grenades be the thing people have to fight with. And she's like hiding behind doorways and tables to blow people up in like the heat of the moment. First of all, she's deaf after that scene.
Yeah.
Second, excellent way to execute that scene. And then like the flamethrower bit, dude, that is the greatest flamethrower centric scene I think I've seen in a movie.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Like that whole situation. And I love how like you use the term put a hat on a hat sometimes. They put a hat on a hat on a hat on a hat. They just kept like, let's have them trade blows with the flamethrower where they dodge and then fire back like they're shooting a gun. And then let's have them run at each other and grab each other's flamethrowers and spin in a big circle. And then after that, you think it's done. Fire versus water, bro. She's stopping it with the hose. And then she goes to the spray option and it punches him in the face with the stream of water. Dude, like, come on.
So good.
Dude, I think I came sitting in the theater. Like, it was fucking beautiful. So, like, yeah, no. In terms of what it is an 11 out of 10. In terms of being, like, an actual movie, okay, you know, it's kind of generic. It is what it is. But, like, that's not why you're going to see it. You're going to see it for what it does. And it does the best shit ever. So, flying recommendation from me.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's still worth a watch. I still really enjoy it. I want to see more from the character Eve and stuff.
Me too.
And everything. I just think, like, I'm like, okay, this action's good, but it's not, like, holy shit. But that's fine, because, you know, it's kind of like a test run kind of thing.
I really thought it was on par with the other movies. I thought it was brilliant.
I still like the action. One of the things I really liked is that I liked that she wasn't already a badass. I liked that she was, like, definitely struggling a lot more with these fights and stuff. And, like, John was, like, you could tell that she is starting out and everything. I enjoyed that. And then the other thing I liked was because I'm like, I know John Wick's going to be in this, but I don't want him to save her. And then he does the whole thing where, spoilers, by the way, where he shoots the guy and ends up saving her. And at first I was like, that fucking sucks. But then I remembered in the first John Wick, the only reason why John survives is because Willem Dafoe's character, with a sniper rifle, kills a guy that causes John to be able to live and like escape and stuff. And what happens in this movie? John, with a sniper rifle, shoots the guy, causing her to be able to live.
That's a good point.
You know, it's like poetry. It rhymes. In the words of George Lucas. And I like that. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
We'll save the next film for a second. We have some homework to go through. First off, Thunderbolts. I saw your video review on it. And all I have to say is, Jake, how the fuck do you love Captain America Brave New World, but then you look at Thunderbolts and go, you know, it's okay. What the fuck is up with your consistency on opinions of movies, man?
Yeah, because fucking Captain America didn't hug the bad guy to save the day at the end. It was a strange creative decision, man.
You know, I'm really sorry that instead of just generic fight scene number 562, we actually...
I don't want generic! Where's ballerina level fight scenes in fucking Thunderbolts? You know, it's weird because, like, the whole logic of, like, everyone is big sad and they go into their own mind room based on an event or two from their life, and then if they, like, walk through it, which seemingly unharms them, they graduate to get to the main guy, and then they can, like, talk, but only the Thunderbolts did that, and no one in New York did that? Or did they, like, do you not get to go there and you have to, like, choose to go? How do they know to do that? None of that really tracked for me. So by the time they're like, he's punching himself in the head, I'm like, all logic is out the window. You've totally lost me on the continuity.
Okay. It's so Jake, there's this thing called story and subtext. And no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we also need text too.
So there's this thing called a metaphor, Jake, and
right,
you don't know.
Right. Yeah,
it's the depression stuff that's all trauma. So essentially you're trying to beat your trauma. And so, yeah, of course, probably half of New York just wasn't able to go through their trauma, or they just, you know, were okay. You know, they went to their therapist.
No, the entirety of New York. Every single person in New York didn't get to go through their trauma except the main cast of characters because they're the main cast and the writer has to put them into the third act.
I will agree that I wish I got to see the other Thunderbolts go through their trauma.
Yeah, I would have loved that because like that sets up all of their arcs, right? So like John Walker is like, oh, I'm distraught because of my wife and kids. I feel like I've let down the family. You know, everyone's got their own little stories. Even Bucky's got a lot going on. And you never see a resolution to any of them except Yelena and her father. And I feel like, why are they even in the movie, these other side characters? They could have been swapped out with anybody. Who cares?
No, I agree, but I still think the whole scene where it's like, you know, he's punching himself in the face, you know, that's like, that the thing about that is it's like, it's, what it's saying is like, you know, you can't just like, you know, you can't just beat it down, like beat down the problem and stuff. You have to face it. You have to, you know, accept it. You can't just beat it with violence and stuff like that. So that's what it's kind of trying to say.
I get what it's trying to say, but then by that logic, why do you need the Thunderbolts there? What are they doing? Nothing.
You know, I don't know, man. I don't know what you want.
I want them to be
I don't know what you
in
want,
their
man.
own
Okay,
movie doing their own thing. Like I feel like Taskmaster got sniped in 5 minutes, and then Ghost is equally as important after Taskmaster dies because how does she help stop the villain in any way? They all just hug. That's it. That's the magic cure.
What is wrong with a hug? The hug is
Bro,
good.
you're telling me I could have just hugged the void the whole time? I don't know.
It was an allegory for depression.
I get the allegory.
What do you want? I don't know what you want, man.
I get it.
Look, I'm so sorry that you don't get a big CGI villain.
We did.
That
we did get a big CGI villain, and then they hugged him to death, and then he wins.
I don't know. I can't have this conversation with you again, man. I don't know
I get the point, right?
All I'm saying is...
And look, I will say the majority of the world agrees with you. It has like a 90 billion% Rotten Tomatoes. So like, you know, all well and good. You know, they clearly made the right decisions, you know, and I do appreciate that they swung. They took a big swing with something that's like really out there. I just wish it was just tied up a little neater with like the continuity, because then I wouldn't be so divested by the time everyone has like a love fest at the end.
I don't know, man, but all I'm saying is better than Brave New World. That's for damn sure.
I mean, I almost equate them. I lean Brave New World, which is a film that didn't make perfect sense but made a little bit more sense than Thunderbolts, so I don't know. And plus, like, Incredible Hulk 2 is just really hitting me hard. I love Incredible Hulk 1, so I'm a guilty pleasure. That's on me.
All right. Well, go on. Did you see The Surfer?
No, I did not see the Nicolas Cage yelling at people the movie.
It was good. It's really good. It's not just him yelling at people. I continue to tout that I really love Nicolas Cage. Every time I see him, and I think his last performance was his greatest yet, he tops it. I think like he's topped this one. And I think The Surfer is worth a watch, Jake. You'll watch it and you'll feel like you're doing drugs while you're watching. It's quite a trip.
I enjoy movies that make you feel that way, so I think I will check it out.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy it. Did you see the Lilo and Stitch CGI live action remake?
No, I saw Mission Impossible that weekend. I did not see Lilo.
I watched Lilo and Stitch. It is mid. It's all right. It's not the most amazing thing.
It's on its way to $1 billion. It is soaring to money.
It continues the trend of why do we make this? For some reason, they make a change that's apparently controversial to every fan. That like the sister gives up Lilo to be to the state, but like her neighbor that they're close with adopts Lilo. So they basically find a loophole to make it so that they don't get separated, but she can go off to college and stuff. And according to the entire internet, that was blasphemy to be able to do. That she shouldn't have done that at all. And I'm just like, I don't understand the problem here. They just found a loophole. That's all it was. But the mere fact that the sister even considered giving up Lilo for a couple seconds was punishable by death and crucifixion.
Yep.
So I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's the kind of thing where it's
That's a
like,
big deal.
and we're gonna talk about it because I assume you've seen the film in which you learn how to in fact train your dragon, but there's a lot of things with you haven't.
I haven't seen that one yet. I don't know how to train my dragon.
Oh, Xander, how could you not have seen this new movie that I have seen? Jeez, every time you do this to me, man. I've always seen everything, and you just never see enough as much as I have.
I know. It's not like the last 2 episodes I've listed off movies and you go,
I'll have to check it out. I'll have to check it out. No, Xander, you always do this to me. You gotta watch more movies, man. Come on. Ah, damn. So it feels so good to say. No, but like in line with what you're saying, and I feel like we can kind of talk about this together because you've seen one copy of the original, I've seen the other. I walked into How to Train Your Dragon, and I was thinking to myself, like, okay, well, whatever it is, I love the original trilogy. I love those movies. So whatever this is, I'll just embrace it as its own thing. Turns out the film didn't want to embrace it as its own thing. It is a 1-to-1 exact recreation of that first film with lines of dialogue. I swear the script is the same. I swear they took the exact same script and were like, let's shoot it. And like they did the exact, nothing's different. Nothing. Not a single thing. It's so weird. I walked out of that film. I was like, did I just like sit at home and hit play on How to Train Your Dragon and like rewatch it alone in my house? Like, I feel like that's exactly what I just did. So but I also don't know what I would have preferred because you were just talking about Lilo and Stitch. Like, oh, the one change they made was a controversy because it was a change. Is this what you would want instead, people? Is this really what you, like, do you want everything to just be like a carbon fucking copy? I don't know. I don't understand.
Well, that wasn't the only change.
I'm sure.
They also made Jumba. They made Jumba the actual villain. They took out the other villain. Jumba doesn't have his Russian accent. He just has this really weird regular voice by the guy who played.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I was sitting there and I was just like, this is probably one of the worst movies of the year. How to Train Your Dragon, by the way, is like one of my favorite DreamWorks animated films. This is probably one of the worst movies I've seen all this year because it offers me nothing. Like, it's the worst film of the year, I think, is Alto Nights, maybe. Or maybe I think I hated one more. I forget what it was. But Alto Nights did things that pissed me off. How to Train Your Dragon didn't do things. It didn't do anything. Nothing happened. I don't know. I'm in such a weird place.
Ever since that trailer dropped, I was like, I don't understand the point of this film. I don't understand why people are excited for it. And I'm just saying, Drake, you're telling me this, and I'm like, what the hell did you expect?
I don't know. I saw it because friends of mine wanted to see it, and there were kids that also went with us as well. That were like 15, 13, and so we went to see it all together. And driving home, one of my buddies says to me, like, it was actually really good. I love the first movie too, and I think they did a really good job here. I just wish Astrid's hair was blonde. I'm like, you're kidding me. The one change, it's not even an important change. The one change is your issue, so you'd rather it be just hitting replay on fucking How to Train. What is happening? So for me, like, the reason why I get so passionate is, like, the best remakes ever, like Scarface. Scarface is like a top 10 or 20 movie all time for me. I love Scarface. That original Scarface is not great. It's boring as hell from like the 30s. The remake was a justified remake because it made significant changes that made not just a better story, but a fantastic story. Or The Thing. The Thing from Another World is the 50s movie, and that is the remake that John Carpenter... Carpenter? Yeah, it is Carpenter. He remade that film, and the remake so justifies all the changes it made because it turns it into like this, almost like a political thriller at the end, and there's so much you can grab from that wasn't there in the original. So I feel like if you're gonna remake something that's in like the same medium of film, like at the exact... You need to like... I think changes are not just like a suggestion. They're necessary to justify you having done it in the first place. And if you can't make changes that justify the remake, then what are you doing? This movie already exists. So, I don't know. That's how I feel about that and Lilo. And I haven't even seen Lilo, but I'm sure it'd be 99% identical to fucking the animated film. So who cares?
I used to be like, yeah, live action remakes of like animated stuff is cool because like you get to see it in real life. But like that was back when there was like animations of just like pretty much just normal people or like superheroes and stuff like that. When it comes to things like Lilo and Stitch and like How to Train Your Dragon, the main draw is Stitch, an alien creature that is nothing in real life, and How to Train Your Dragon is a dragon. And Lilo and Stitch, you know, that was hand-drawn animation. I think it was mostly hand-drawn animation. But How to Train Your Dragon was, you know, that's CGI animation. And, I mean, you look at Toothless, and he's one for one Toothless.
Because, I'll tell you...
and
I'll tell you
like,
why.
What new is happening?
Because if they changed it, if they made it look like a real fucking dragon, not that they're real, but like a medieval dragon with like a big snout or whatever, then everyone's up in arms. Because when Sonic's trailer came out and he looked a little fucking different than classic Sonic, the whole internet flipped their shit. The studio had to go bankrupt to redo him to look just like Sonic, and now that's a lesson that the audience has taught to all these stupid studios, saying like, we will hate this movie and you're gonna have to fucking go bankrupt redoing it if it looks literally any different than the original. So now they're all cowards. Now they're just gonna make an exact 1-to-1 Toothless, an exact 1-to-1 Stitch. It's not different because they're afraid of doing things different.
Okay, well, hold. Let's hold the phone on Sonic here. That Sonic design was completely awful.
Nope, I'm putting the phone right back down. The phone's right back down.
The Sonic design was completely awful, and that change was completely fucking justified. And that was an awful thing. I don't have a problem with how Toothless looks. I'm just saying that it's like, this was already a CGI character, so you're just taking the same CGI. There's just no reason for it. And I don't know, I'm just like, it's an animated character. Like, there's just no reason for this film. It didn't need to exist. I kept saying, instead of putting the money into making the first movie again, why not just make a new How to Train Your Dragon? But everyone's like, no, the trilogy was perfect. And I'm like, okay, then just do it in the different world. I don't fucking know.
It's not like a groundbreaking thing for me to say the reason they're doing this is money. But if I could elaborate a little bit more, I would say the reason they're making live-action remakes, they now being Disney and DreamWorks or whoever, is because the kids, the children and families that go to see movies, they already like the thing. So they see the thing they already like, and they go, oh my god, they're making a big version or whatever. I'm 5. I'm going to go see it. And it makes $1 billion fucking dollars because you have to bring your whole family, and it's like 4 or 5, 6 tickets per family that goes to see it. And every kid who loves Stitch already has to go see the new Stitch movie. Kids who love they have to go see the How to Train Your Dragon movie. And it racks up $1 billion for doing nothing new and nothing different. So, because they don't have to. They're rewarded financially for not doing something different. That's why Sonic made money after they redesigned him. It would not have had they kept that design. So, yeah.
It wouldn't have, but you know, Sonic 3 is actually really amazing, and great, and just a perfect film. And well, not a perfect film, but I really loved it. That said,
you seen Predator: Killer of Killers?
I have not yet. I need to watch that.
Xander, oh my god!
I know. Oh, I know. I'm dropping the ball.
Holy shit! Every episode with this guy who hasn't seen anything ever made. Sorry, I'm gonna keep riding this out as far as I can because I'll never have this moment again, and you know that.
You're like, I'm finally enjoying it. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I'm planning to see How to Train Your Dragon, but my partner was like, I'm ready to finally experience 4DX. We're gonna see it in 4DX.
At least you'll get something.
That's our plan. We're gonna see How to Train Your Dragon. So next episode, you'll get how was the 4DX version of it?
Oh my god, when Toothless, breathes fire, somebody from the theater, pisses on you from the sidelines, and it's an immersive experience. And then they're flying, and somebody shakes your seat violently. Yeah, I hate that stuff. No, so, for Killer of Killers, I'll be brief since you haven't seen it. How many Predators movies have you seen?
I've seen every Predator movie. I've seen Predator, Predator 2, Predators. Haven't seen The Predator. I saw Prey. I've seen Alien vs. Predator. Haven't seen Alien vs. Predator Requiem. And I think that's everything, right?
Yeah, more or less. So, this one I went in with not low expectations, but I didn't think much of it. I was like, oh, okay, it's a tie-in animated film. Usually those are like cheap, Usually those are like, not a whole lot of thought went into it. It's just a tie-in, cash grab. And I went to watch it, and it is top 5 movies of the year. It's brilliant. So it's a 3-part movie. It's like an anthology. It's Devil's League, where it's like an anthology, but it ties in at the end. So there's 3 time periods, right? There's Vikings, there's samurai and ninja and shit, and then there's World War II fighter pilots. And so each one of them has a predator that shows up, and the predator is trying to be the killer of killers. So it's trying to hunt someone who has just killed an adversary of equal value. So like the Viking is a revenge tale, and they kill the enemy Viking, and then the predator shows up to try and kill them, and it's like a showdown, and it's like a super interesting thing. And the samurai is a similar way, where it's like 2 brothers and one has to kill the other, and then predator shows up. And the fighter pilot is because the fighter planes were shooting down enemy planes. The predator vehicle, this huge fucking monstrosity flying vehicle, is chasing the fighter pilots, and the fighter pilot has to be creative and strategically trick the sensor and blow it up. It's a whole thing. It's really fun. So, but at the end of each segment, it shows like a 5-second flash of that character with a collar sitting in a room, and like they shouldn't be alive, but they are. And then the same thing with the next one, and the samurai one. This guy is sitting alone in the room, and next to him in the room is the Viking from a different time period. And so, at the end of the 3rd story, and I'm just going to give you the premise of the ending. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but the premise of the ending is that all 3 of those protagonists from those stories, once that they defeat the predator, I'm not going to say if they kill him or not, but once they defeat the predator involved, they are captured and frozen. And now all 3 of them are unfrozen to fight on the predator planet. And the predator king dude with big spikes on his back and stuff is like, you guys are all going to fight each other, and whoever wins this 3-way fight fights me. And so that's the premise.
Interesting.
And let me tell you, it's basically like barely over 90 minutes, and it's like Ballerina, where it's like mostly action. But at least the story is better written here than Ballerina. It's like a genuinely compelling, tale. And I love the ending. I love the 3rd act. It's like a good 20 minutes of just payoff, and it's just brilliant. And the very end is a holy shit moment. Like, no way. Because if that's what they're doing, dude, they better make another one yesterday. Because, wow. But I'm not going to talk about that. So there's like some this should have been a fucking blockbuster in theaters energy. But I get why it's animated, because it's all very high concept, all just action, So it's a lot easier to make.
Right.
Dude, I loved it. I thought it was a great fucking movie. This and Ballerina are my 2 favorite action movies of the year. We'll talk about a potential 3rd one in a minute.
Okay, I'm excited. I'll have to catch it. I remember it looked fun, but I wasn't like a biggest fan of the Predator designs. I felt they were like a little too bulky.
It depends which one. So each time period has a different style Predator. So Viking has like a bulky one because they're more brawlers, and then the Samurai has like the stealth one with like a big sword coming out of his thing. And then the fighter pilot is just a dude in a cockpit. So, it's kind of interesting. They have, like, iterations of the Predators.
Okay. Well, if they're all different, then I'm fine with that. I'm just, I'm usually not, a big, roided out kind of
I felt that way the same way, because the Vikings the first segment, and I'm like, oh, I hope they're not all like this. And they're not, so it's good.
I remember I texted my friend Michael. I'm like, I'm not a big fan of design. He goes, why can't you be happy with anything, Xander? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. See other movies I just saw last night. Small highlights. Saw for the very first time The Birdcage earlier this month. That was fun. I don't know if you've seen The Birdcage before. Have you seen that one?
Have not. No.
Robin Williams. It's pretty interesting.
Robin Williams?
Yeah.
What? Are they AIing him back to life? Like, what's going on?
No. This is a 1996 film.
No, just any film that we've seen from the past. I could play that game in a minute.
Went to the New Beverly midnight showing of Deep Blue Sea. We got to see that on film. That was fun.
Had you seen that before?
I had seen that one before. My partner hadn't, and so me, him, and then our roommate Garrett, we went, and me and Garrett knew exactly what to expect. But,
okay, so you know the
for
moment.
Those who haven't seen it,
there's a moment halfway through.
Yeah. So for those who haven't seen it,
don't spoil
close
it.
your
but
eyes for like
you
5
can talk
seconds.
about it, but like don't spoil it.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. I won't. Watch Deep
watch
Blue
it.
Sea. It's bad, but it's
not
fun.
a great. It wouldn't have even gotten like shitty sequels or anything, except for the fact that like halfway through,
it did.
It's just like whoa, that no one's expecting that.
Yeah.
It's great. I wish more movies did that.
And then I also watched in theaters. This one is a new one, Karate Kid Legends, which I actually really enjoyed. I thought the editing was really well done. I felt it was a little too much catered towards Jackie Chan, but it had enough at the second half that I felt satisfied with the original film. So I don't know. Did you see the Karate Kid Legends?
I
film?
chose not to because I am intending with my wife to watch all of them again. I've seen the original Karate Kid. I don't think I've seen a single other piece of Karate Kid media. So I want to go through and watch like all of them. Class. It's like what I want to do with Alien at some point. I skip Romulus for that reason. But I'll watch it in context. And apparently, I should watch the Cobra Kai show because at the end I am rewarded in some way. So I'm gonna do that. That sounds fun.
Yeah, you need to watch. I need to watch the Cobra Kai show too, actually. But yeah, fuck you. Why haven't you seen Karate Kid Legends?
I know. I'm the worst. I'm just the worst.
And you still haven't seen Romulus. You literally just need to watch Alien, and then you can watch Romulus. There's no reason to watch the other films.
Not enough.
Romulus. I
refuse.
You're awful.
I need to watch Alien.
Right, well, there's no other movies to talk about. There's no other movies to talk about right now. We haven't talked about any other film. No, I'm just kidding. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Right.
Now, in a future episode, we're going to be talking about the whole series and more in depth and stuff. But Bruce isn't here, and we promised him we'd do that.
I am a
Final
mega fan of the Mission Impossible series. So I think it was like my second or first anticipated all year was this movie. I am deliriously excited for it going in. And coming out of it, I thought it was really, really good. Not as good as the past few have been, because the past few have been like stellar, like super good. But it's good. It's a good send-off. It makes some questionable decisions to get where it's going. But dude, once it gets where it's going, it's like the best thing ever. So I loved it. Really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed Final Reckoning. Nothing will still top 3 for me, just because I really love the character-driven story of 3. But I did love the callbacks to 3. And I tell you, no matter what, I know Ethan Hunt's always going to make it. But all the stunts in this film, I'm like, fuck, is he going to make it?
Yep.
You know, I know he's going to make it. You know, you see the trailer. He's flying that airplane. But my God, he's in that fucking submarine. I'm like, is he going to make it?
Yep.
And it's just insane the way, the way they are able to do tension. All the stunts are really good. And I gotta say what you want, feel how you want about Tom Cruise. The man is there are many sides to Mr. Cruise. Sometimes I hate him, sometimes I love him. But what you can't deny, and what I always have to make respect, is he is keeping the live action stunts alive.
No one's doing it like him.
He is keeping the art of live action stuntman work, action work alive in Hollywood. And I have to, in this day of age of digital and green screens and all that stuff, I commend him for that. I find it very honorable, and very much like, as a filmmaker myself, I'm like, thanks Tom for continuing with these movies and like making this kind of work still a thing.
Yep. No one's really doing it like him. There's just, think of all like the A-list actors who have all the power and sway in Hollywood. What do they use it for? Kind of nothing. He's using it to put himself in harm's way and give us, for the sake of our entertainment, to make like one of the greatest stunt scenes I've ever seen in my life, which is the biplane sequence. So,
well, I'll tell you what other actors are using their clout for. They're using it to get a paycheck of the century of $250 million and an entire studio village as their as their trailer.
100%.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yep.
And Tom Cruise is out here going, I'm going to produce this myself. I'm going to make all this. We're going to do live action.
Let's
we're
not pretend that he didn't get
stunts and
paid
cables
fucking 8 or 9 figures for Final Reckoning. But
oh, he is totally. But at the same time, I'm not watching Tom Cruise on a fake airplane in that stupid ass CGI bubble screen or blue screens.
Yep.
That obviously the wiles are edited out, but that man's on that plane and that man's in the air, and we're doing stuff, and it's just, I love
Big
that.
time.
I love that. I'm like, thank you.
Absolutely, it's perfect. So yeah, absolutely love that. Yeah.
Do you feel like it was a great conclusion to the series?
I feel like it was a really good conclusion, and a lot of characters had a proper ending, and some didn't, and some were like, okay, it feels like another day in the life, you know? I don't know if that was the intention, but Ethan, like, not dying at the end, I'm like, okay, well, that would have been the most badass way to go out ever, but okay, sure. And plus, like, if you don't know if he's gonna make it, but then he like clicks that thing, and you just see the light go on that, oh, Ethan did it and made it, and now we saved the day, and then he's gone. That's such a legendary way to go out. But okay, all right, he's alive. But then they don't like, because I'm thinking like, okay, are they gonna end with him as the new secretary? Because the secretary is a character that's like, in the shows, the secretary leads the mission, right? He's like the main guy doing the mission.
Yeah.
In the movies, the secretary is just there to sit in a room and say a couple lines of exposition, maybe die, maybe be the villain, maybe be framed by the villain. Like, you know, he's in these movies, he's just kind of a tangential character. So I'm thinking like, okay, Ethan can step up and be like, you secretaries blow, you're always disavowing me, you're always bad at your jobs, I'm going to be the best secretary that steps up. And that's the end of his story, and that'd be so cool. But okay, whatever. But then the ending of the movie is just them standing around in like this open, you know, city, and they're like, I got the entity.
Yeah, the usual.
Great, and we're just going to walk in different directions. And it's like, yeah, the usual. Yeah, it's like, this isn't the usual, though. This is the final reckoning. If it was the usual and you're not touting it as the last one, okay, that's cool. Perfect ending. But, like, you know, like, I feel like you tried to wrap it up and you didn't. I don't know. But whatever.
I don't know. I think it's a good ending to it. I wish Paris had more to do in this film.
I actually liked Paris.
I wish she had like a bit more action.
I like Paris more in this one than the last one. I thought she had a good
Really?
story. Yeah. Well, she has more to like not do like physically. She fights mostly in Dead Reckoning, but she has more character moments in this one too. Like, yeah. Are you medical trained in any way? I kill people. Good enough. I don't know. I like that.
Get in here.
Love that. But yeah, there's some great moments.
But you know that great moments. I love it. But yeah, I think that's every movie we've been needing to talk about. I don't think there's anything else new, huh?
Not that come to mind. No. You talked about an old movie you've seen. I recently watched The Game by David Fincher. Have you seen this movie?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, Xander not seeing it. No, it's not. I'm kidding.
Rack up the points.
What can I say?
Rack them up.
What can I say? No, so it's a movie that is best experienced if you don't know anything about it going into it, and you just watch it like as is. And all you have to know is that it's a mystery thriller, right? And the first 20 minutes don't give that away, and then you realize, oh, this is the premise. But where it ends up going in the ending is like, you're never going to predict that, you know? So, you know, I thought I really enjoyed it. I was along for the ride, and I thought it was a really solid entry. I have my problems here and there, but I think overall it gets you to where it needs to go really good. It's a fun time.
Run, ride, or fly to your nearest video store. Go now and grab Terminator 2 for the best
price ever.
Trust me. Come with me if you want to live.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Terminator 2, wherever videos are sold. Now available at Strawberries for $14.99.
Welcome back.
Well, welcome back to this show. I hope you enjoyed your commercials. Recently, I watched a video on this channel called Hot Quality Content, and this guy, Jake,
Oh, yeah.
decided to say that AI is a great thing in Hollywood and needs to come back and needs to come further in full swing, and that it's okay.
What a tool.
I'm just kidding. I'm completely taking this out of context.
Yeah, I was, if you didn't say you were full of shit, I was going to have to, because that's not exactly what I said. But I will admit, it's not far from what I think in the sense that it's a tool, but we'll get there when we
There's
get
a
there.
lot of defense on AI. We've had a lot of conversations with AI. And as creators and artists, I do believe that we both can definitively say, I personally say fuck AI, but you have had a few, I don't know, just for the audience, for those who haven't seen the 17-minute video, Jake, please say your arguments. Let's tee us up.
All right. I'll try and sum it up in the course of like 30 seconds because I had a lot of points. I had a lot to talk about.
You did. You definitely did.
And now finally I have a counterbalance. I have someone else who feels like most of the other world does, where it's like, hey, fuck AI all the time. So AI, let me be clear on what we're going to agree on. You should not use AI to create your art. Like, so I'm an author, right? I don't have any interest in reading a book that's even partly generated with AI because the whole point is that I want to read something that somebody made. I want to read what you did. So there have now been multiple cases, and this is since the video's uploaded. I wish I could have included it then, but it didn't exist. Now multiple cases have existed of authors, like, regular authors that post like series usually, leaving the ChatGPT prompt accidentally in their book to generate their text.
What the fuck?
And it's like one of the prompts was like, certainly, I'll rewrite your passage in the style of this other author to make it this dialogue better, and then make this character have a showcase of whatever. And it's like, whoa, this is like, why are you a writer? Isn't the whole point because you have something to say? Like, you yourself want to produce something? So I'm fully not in favor of just like ethically of just artists or videos really excelling right now. I said that in the video months ago. It has become true, obviously, because it's not a surprise that generating video is now even more realistic than it used to be, like even just a month ago. So you're a filmmaker. If you had a, Unseen Obsession Part 2 button that you could click on your keyboard and just shit out a fucking 90-minute production that has the same cast, same whatever, you wouldn't use that because you didn't do that. It's not your movie. You have nothing to say in that, So you'd go out and get the actors and you'd write a script and you'd shoot the fucking thing. So that we're going to agree on. I don't think AI should be used in that sense. However, AI is as much a tool as Photoshop was back in the day, in the sense that prior to Photoshop, you had to like take really crazy pictures and like paint them or cut them up, or like if you're doing visual effects, I have to like re-expose the film certain ways. We now have ways to do visual effects, whether they're props or with computer generated imagery, that are far superior, take less time and effort, and frankly look better if you spend the right time and effort. Like if you spend equal amounts of time and effort doing visual effects in like the 60s with your exposing film rates versus doing time and effort to generate Avatar 2, Avatar 2 looks better. It just does. So like, the way I see it is like AI is just another tool in a toolkit. So if you are generating something, and we're going to get to like recreations of AI people in a second. That's like the big point of contention. If you're going to use AI for your visual effects, you are replacing the brute force, pain in the ass, kill yourself work that no one wants to do anyway. That's different than like writing a book, which should be a passion and should convey a theme and a message that a human did. That's different than that. This is just running ones and zeros. This is just, I gotta match the shading on his forehead. It's gonna take me a half hour to fucking, you know what I mean? Like that level of like pain and agony now can be so much easier and so much more removed. So AI is a fantastic tool in a lot of senses. Do you have something to say? Or,
So
'cause I was gonna-
my biggest argument with that is that, because like I know you were saying it's like, okay, well, I guess it's more with the faces and stuff is my whole thing, but I'll let.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get there. Well,
dude,
I'm rocking the ship
mean,
right now. The ship's on its way.
Because it's like AI, there's so many different layers to it. Where it's like, yeah, technically there's a lot of stuff that uses AI. I mean, technically Final Cut Pro, when I click match source color of frame in a frame, that's using AI and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I'm still
Computers have used forms of AI
yeah,
for decades.
and so that kind of
you
stuff I'm fine with because it's like, okay, well I'm just matching the color grading. It's not like I'm not like actually doing anything. Is it gonna look as good as if someone else with artistic talent knows what they're doing is? No, but it does the job for me. So yeah, fine. I'll concede with the small little shading features like that. But I also think that humans can do a better job with that than just a robot and stuff.
They can.
Like that.
They can certainly do worse jobs too.
But you know, I mean, again, I mean, my main point I'll save for the end of this, but you can continue on. That's my main thing right now.
All right. I'll. We're building up. We're going up. We're going up that direction. So yeah, I totally feel that way in the sense of like it's a useful tool in the sense of, oh hey, I'm creating my vision. I have a vision in my head. I'm trying to execute it, whether it's a book or a movie or whatever it is, and I'm executing it in some way. And the way in which to get there is marred by all of this like budget I don't have, all of this time that I can't afford to waste, and I have to make this dude turn into a motorcycle. Apparently, I'm making transformation. This dude turned to a motorcycle on screen, and you know, if there's a way that an AI video could do it in a convincing way, because again, a year ago it was not convincing at all. 6 months ago it was kind of janky. 3 months ago it was better but not great. 1 month ago, okay, that looks almost perfect. So it's going in the direction of AI will be able to just generate visual effects that way. So, oh, hey, I can execute the vision that I, the human, have had in a way that no longer requires me to, you know, go use the resources of a studio, pay tens of thousands of dollars to hire all these executives and producers and blah, blah, blah. All these people that would have their own inputs and would want their own fucking like, oh, we want marketability. Oh, we want this. Oh, we want that. Finally, you can bypass the conventional system and just say, hey, here is weapons grade quality visual effects that are going to happen at a certain point that I can produce from my bedroom. So like, what does that say about how Hollywood is doing? Now. So, the conversation everyone wants to have are the recreations of likenesses of people that have passed away. You got to understand, like, what is the context? What are you trying to do? So, like, all we can do is point to examples that have happened. So, Rogue One. You want Peter Cushing to go in that role. Let's pretend that AI isn't a thing, deepfaking isn't a thing, CGI isn't a thing. What would you have done? You would have cast someone else.
Exactly.
So, immediately, people are just like, oh, that's not the guy. Oh, but it is. We're going to pretend he's the guy. Like what Universal's been doing with, like, you know, Lon Chaney Jr. playing, like, every part and swapping art roles and stuff like that. Wouldn't you prefer it be consistent?
No.
That's my whole philosophy.
I disagree.
Why not?
See, here's my thing. Okay, also, first off, the guy turning the motorcycle thing with a press-up button from home. Yeah, that's great, but it's also the AI made that. You didn't make that. So, just, if you want to do that, then...
But no one else did.
But But do the work to figure it out. I mean,
well,
like,
then you didn't color grade your shot, Xander.
I didn't color grade it. I didn't do it. I didn't color grade it. I color matched it, and that's
matched whatever it is. You know what I mean.
You're right. I didn't. But you know what? The only reason why that created is because that shot was already shot, and it's just matching and thing. Whereas if I'm just
well, you still did. You should have. Because you can't take it like, oh, it works in small parts but not in big parts, because then it's inconsistent.
Okay, but like if you made the CGI animation of the guy turning the motorcycle, then you made that. But if you just AI generated a guy turning a motorcycle, then you didn't. You already said that.
So what if I hand animated it, but then the AI turned my animation into like the color and texture? Would you draw the line there?
So like what you're saying is like you made the models in Blender and stuff, and like you did like that, and then the AI just like continued on.
well, not continued on, but like took my animation and instead of like a weird pivot model, it like put, metallic parts on it and like used my animation, but like made it look different.
Very confused to what you're saying, but if you're going off
like they reskinned, it's like Sonic when they redid Sonic.
Okay.
My AI did that basically. So like I animated Sonic walking around, but I hit an AI button which turns my exact animations into a different looking model. That's what that. Would you draw the line there?
Was the model created by AI or was the model created by someone else and the AI is just plopping?
The model was me. I hand animated the movement of the dude walking around and doing stuff, and the AI just changed what the model looks like.
Yeah, but what the model looks like
now,
were those textures made by the AI or were they made by you or someone else that actually does the texture job better than you could?
Now that's an interesting question.
Because if the AI made the model textures, then no, that's bad. But if you went on like some sort of online place and either paid a guy or just took someone else's work, or like someone had like said, "Hey, I made these textures, use it for whatever the fuck you want," and you like went to someone who can do a better job than you, and the AI just like plopped it on, that's okay, because that's the same thing as doing something with like green screen work. Like green screen. Obviously, I'm not painstakingly cutting myself out of every single frame. The green screen is just shaboom kind of thing like that. So
interesting. All right, so I have a couple more questions then, because this is the conversation I wanted to have. So, if you took Unseen Obsession and Anxiety's Moon and the
Cold Embrace.
What's the Dracula one? I'm sorry.
Cold Embrace.
Cold Embrace. It's not out yet. So I don't know. If you took all three of those and let's pretend you did your Mummy one too. Let's take all 3 or 4 of your movies and you fed them as source material into an AI and you clicked generate me a creature movie based in my style, and it does. By your logic, that's okay. Why is that not?
Because it generated all that stuff. I didn't create any of it. But we can.
But it was based off of an actual artist.
No. But none of the work that has come out of it was created by humans. That's what I'm saying. Like Unseen Obsession is the best example we can use, because that uses special effects from Final Cut Pro. I didn't go and have my actor Tyler, wear a black velvet thing against a black screen and then just shoot on film and supercompose it. I had him wear a green screen, and I took 2 plates and I took a shot of wherever he was as the background, and then I had him do his stuff in front of it, and then I put those 2 on top in Final Cut Pro, and I dragged and pulled the option that said green screen key, and it keyed out all the green screen stuff to make him invisible. I'm assuming that's a program, which is what I'm assuming is a form of AI or something. Like there's stuff saying like
there's forms of AI. That's every visual.
That's a form of AI.
Has it,
The computer knows, okay, this stuff green, take out, and stuff in there, and then from there, I clean things up with little masking and stuff like that, and I'm doing it kind of roughly, but I know that it'll kind of like follow the lines and do it for me and stuff like that. But all that work, none of that existed unless I hadn't shot and filmed it, is what I'm saying.
So let me just state right now, like I agree with you on this point. I was playing devil's advocate to see what you would say, but I totally agree with you that like you wouldn't have done that hypothetical film. You didn't do
exactly.
Anything. You just hit a button and waited. But to get back to the like CGI likeness thing, see, for me it's like, would you rather it like look consistent, or would you rather it just be a different actor?
I'd rather it be a different actor.
For me, it's like I disagree, because then it's not consistent. Like I like continuity in my stuff, and obviously, couple caveats: you want the estate to be okay with it. You want the actor to not reasonably have said no to doing this. Obviously, that'd be like George Reeves when he showed up in The Flash 2023, right? George Reeves did not enjoy playing Superman. That was a whole thing with him. So seeing his cameo in the multiverse, that one I have an issue with. The rest of them I'm actually okay with. you never saw Christopher Reeve and Supergirl on screen together, even though they're in the same continuity. So that was a really cool, holy shit moment. So I liked what they did there. It's reasonable to have assumed that Mr. Reeve would have been like, hell yeah, I would be in Flash if I could, not be in a wheelchair and deceased right now. Like, hell yeah, that sounds like a fun thing to do. So that's dope.
I never actually saw the Flash, so I can't really talk on Superman.
Yeah, there's a multiverse shenanigans towards the end where they flashed all these different multiverse DC continuities and stuff. But anyway, for me, it's like the line is drawn at different places for different people. So like for Furious 7, right, with Paul Walker, he died halfway through production. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, you're not going to cancel it. Some people said you should have canceled it instead of CGIing his face. And it's like, that could not be more disrespectful to Paul Walker's legacy. He was trying to make that fucking movie.
So this is what I want to tell you on this, because so they CGI'd his face, but they didn't tell AI, hey, recreate him in this shot. They just CGI'd his face. They did what they did in Jurassic Park, where they CGI'd, the character's face under her face for that one shot. A human did that.
But it's still not the actor.
Yeah, but a human did that. A human did that.
But Paul
CGI.
Walker didn't.
Paul Walker didn't, but a human took Paul Walker's face and put it on. That was a human being's work. He did that artistry, that did that. There's a human already going like, okay, this is how it needs to look, this and that. It's the same as drawing, except though they were using digital stuff like that.
So wait, well, hold on. Now I'm confused. Would you have been okay with, say, what's one, like Rogue One, for example, if there were no deepfakes or AIs involved at all, and it was a human CGIing Peter Cushing's head back?
Okay, well, that's two different things, but yes, I would have, if we're talking about no deepfakes and like no AI stuff, then yeah, I would have been fine. I mean, like, that controversially, really? I'm not gonna say like fuck you studios for like having some guy like that's an artist who got paid for his time and for his work and stuff like that. It's someone did that. It's like my whole thing with like, as much as I hate bad CGI, it's still someone did that. Someone took the time to make that CGI kind of thing,
I mean, someone put a lot of time and effort into creating the generative AI model in the first place that lets you do that. And not for nothing, but like paying an artist versus not, I think I'd rather see AI do, say, a good job with visual effects than see bad CGI by a human.
But that's the whole thing, Jake. The human is the creative part. That's a creative work. You look at, we make fun of the Scorpion King and the Mummy too, and the work that was done on that.
Yep.
But that was made by humans. That was made by something. Someone tried.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it good. Like,
I'm not saying it's good. But I'm saying that is a creative work by a human being. I mean, it's.
All right. Well, let me ask you this: do you think the visual effects team in 2001, they're making Scorpion King, they're like, wow, this is gonna look like trash? If they had the option to hit the magical generate a good shot here button, and they could with Dwayne The Rock, and I'm oversimplifying it. Obviously, you have to do like a lot of training data, you have to do a lot of like CGIing anyway. But like, if they had the option to like use AI to make The Rock somehow look convincing, obviously they would have said yes and hell yeah and done it and made a better product at the end of the day.
Okay.
Obviously, they would have done that.
I mean, that's going off person by person. I mean, it's there's a lot of ethical things, and yeah, you're saying there's a lot of training AI and stuff. But once that training's done, then it's just hitting a button. That's the whole point of why studios want to do it, is because they don't have to pay people. It can be done faster, and then it's soulless. There is soul in artists doing that thing. Whether it's bad or not, there's heart and soul in it. Someone did that. Their AI stuff is just soulless. So yes, if someone was CGI peeing his face on, at least someone was getting paid to do that. It wasn't just an AI hitting a button and deep faking it.
So did you see Ghostbusters Afterlife?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so what did you think of that? Do you think that was soulless?
I've never seen any other Ghostbusters film. I didn't even know that guy was dead. the only thing I can truly tell you about Ghostbusters Afterlife was that I fell asleep at some point, and that the most unrealistic thing in that movie was how clean and well lit that Walmart looked.
All right. Well, do you remember the because the ghost?
Yeah,
at the end is
yeah.
pretty
The
cool,
ghost.
right?
So
when,
that was
when he comes back.
That wasn't that was AI or deep faking and stuff like that. Was that?
Well, he's very dead. He didn't
Okay.
come back as a ghost. You know,
Why not just
so,
get an actor?
Yeah,
with
he's
What is wrong with getting an actor?
because it looks better.
I disagree. Look, you're talking about consistency and stuff, and here's what I have to say. I'm sorry, but people die. People die, and someone
do.
has to continue the mantle. And as much as we want to do this, let someone else take on the role. Okay, let someone else do it. Yes,
I
Peter.
disagree that someone has to take on the mantle.
Okay, you can't get Peter Cushing. Then get someone that can work like Peter Cushing or look like it, or just a couple seconds.
Well, first of all, they did. They did get a guy to stand on set and act kind of like gaunt, like he did, and like fill in the role, and they'd like put markers all over his face. Like they still
just
did.
let him
you know?
play that. We used to do that before. Let's just continue doing that.
But it's not the same. Like it doesn't.
Okay,
feel
okay,
the
wait.
same,
Let me ask
know?
you. You saw Doctor Sleep, right?
Yes.
Did you enjoy Doctor Sleep? It's a great movie, right?
I did.
Okay.
I think I know where you're going. with this, but
Doctor
I
Sleep
did.
is a great movie. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Torrance, the scene with Jack Torrance is amazing. In my opinion, that's probably one of the best scenes in that film. Maybe the best scene. It's truthfully one of my favorite scenes.
It's a great scene. Yeah,
Great
I
job for justice to both the movie The Shining and the book The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Jack Nicholson. I'm not looking at Jack Nicholson on the screen, but I am looking at Jack Torrance on screen. But you're telling me that it's not good because it's not Jack Nicholson? I mean, they could have deep faked, but they didn't do it.
Good.
So
I'm not saying it's not good. I'm not saying you can't possibly recast
but that's
it.
a perfect example of they recast it. That's the same character, and it did just as well. Just as well, and there was no deep fake needed. There was no CGI face swapping needed at all. So what is that? So tell me, riddle me that, Jake. Riddle me that. What?
So yeah, you can't absolutely recasting is an option. Obviously, if they had recast Peter Cushing in Rogue One, I'm sure they'd get an actor who looks a lot like Peter Cushing doing a Peter Cushing impression, just like they did with Jack Nicholson. But why, if I'm given the option between having someone who isn't Jack Nicholson do a Jack Nicholson impression in front of me, trying to be that actor, when I could just, like, there's now an option that's, again, it's not perfect,
no.
but it's getting better and better.
Now
to
you're
just
looking
have
at it
it
the wrong
back.
way. Now, I'm not saying find someone who's Jack Nicholson to do a Jack Nicholson impression. Find an actor.
But that's what he did.
No. He didn't do a Jack Nicholson impression. He did a Jack Torrance. He's an actor who's playing the character of Jack Torrance.
You're right.
You're
right.
The whole thing with these AI stuff is we're focusing way too much on the actor. When the question shouldn't be, we need the actor. We need the character. Jack Torrance in Dr. Sleep, that character is the character. I feel like I just had no idea what that meant. I might have lost some people. But my point is that he did Jack Torrance great, and you don't need AI to create that character. You just need an actor who understands what that character needs to be and needs to act like and stuff like that, you know?
Yep. I agree. Again, you don't need AI. I just think that if given the option, and again, right now it's infinitely better than it was a couple months ago, and a couple months from now it'll be even better than it is now. We're going to hit a point where it is perfect, and it's probably not even far away. It's probably like less than a year away.
And that's not good.
Where if you... See, okay, but let's go with that. Let's say that if it is perfect, which it will be, it's an inevitability, then me, like, making the movie, like, why would I try and, like, again, like, and you say like he's doing a Torrance impression, not a Nicholson impression, but Torrance is Nicholson. So much of Jack Nicholson is in that character, to the point where when they recast him in Doctor Sleep, he's doing very Jack Nicholson-esque things and mannerisms and speeches. And,
yes,
like so.
But
it just.
But the point is, someone managed to do that, and you don't need AI to do that. You don't need to have the face to do that. You don't need the face to be 1-to-1 to do it. You can just have an actor be character.
When I'm watching a movie, I'm invested in the story. Like, I'm invested in the fictional world and the characters and stuff like that. And I don't want to have to think about, oh, this isn't that guy. Oh, but they're pretending he is. Okay, I'll just go with it. You can now remove that element. You know what I mean?
We're spoiled. It's spoiled. It's too much.
You can skip right to there he is.
I think we're spoiled on that. I think we're spoiled on that. That's too much. Where it's like, it has to be the actor. And this goes back into there's no original films in Hollywood. We keep doing the same stories. So now we're not only just keep doing the same stories, we're now doing the same actors. We can't get new actors and we can't do new things like that. But
you can get new actors for new characters.
And look. I'm just saying. No,
like, there was this one thing that happened, if I might interrupt you. There was this one story that came out, which I thought was just total BS, where the studio wanted to... It was like an independent studio, and they wanted to make a movie based on this book or whatever. And they're like, we're going to use modern technology and cast James Dean. And I'm like, no the fuck you're not. Why would James Dean... How could you have possibly assumed what James Dean would want this, like, random fucking book with? Like, there's no history of James Dean with this fucking random book. The estate signed off, but, like, just hire literally anyone. Then you don't have any CGI to do. You're doing this as a stunt. That's the only reason you're doing it.
Okay, but
so it's not like you should just hit AI for every single thing.
So here's my other thing. You mentioned Romulus. You still haven't seen Romulus, right?
No, but I know the ending.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing with Ash, completely disrespectful, one, to the actor, and two, completely unnecessary in the terms of the story. The fact that it's Ash has nothing to do with the story. It's not the same Ash. It's just the same model of robot. And obviously there was a guy playing that character, so you could have just had it be that guy. Like, he could just, again, it could just be a Jack Torrance thing. You don't need it to be that actor. There's just no reason to it. It's needless. It's for the sake of nostalgia, and like I said, you're spoiling yourself. You're wanting way too much when it's like I'm sorry, that person's dead, that person's gone. Move on. We gotta move on, okay? And I'm sorry, I hate to tell you, Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny, it don't look good. It don't look good, okay? I don't want it. I don't want it.
That is some of the greatest CGI.
It is some of the worst CGI head
ever.
It looked bad. It looked
ever.
awful.
Point to a better CGI head prior to 2023.
It looks bad. It looks awful.
That's what I thought.
I felt so uncomfortable watching this fucking stupid ass CGI.
The only CGI head that might have looked better might have been Luke in Mando Season 2. That might have been better, but that's still on par. It's the same company making it.
Luke looked fine, and that's de-aging. But, like, I mean...
It's not de-aging. They had a different actor on set, but Mark Hamill was there that day.
Wait, what? I thought it was Mark Hamill who's been playing it.
No, it wasn't Hamill. It was a dude who looked like the size and shape of Luke.
Oh, that's
but Hamill
right.
was there coaching him that day. Yeah, he was involved in the process. Either way, that's that, and Dial of Destiny has like some of the greatest, literally some of the greatest, most realistic looking. If you pause that film at any point during that
Dial of Destiny,
it is a
of Dial of Destiny. No,
flawless,
you are smoking something, Jake.
Flawless.
I don't.
No,
it's not flawless.
Real, bro.
I can tell. What the hell?
Dude, were you pausing it?
I was pausing it. I'm pausing it. Okay, I'm pausing it.
Okay, if you pause it, it looks fucking real.
Man.
All right. Regardless, this is that's a taste thing. Let's put that aside. But regardless, suffice to say, that movie is now like a year or two old. Well, it's been even longer, so now it's obviously improved, and a year or two from now, it'll get even better. So what I'm saying is, like, at a certain point in the not too distant future, there will come a day where you can, and it will look exactly the same as video. So my point with that is that when and if that happens, As long as the family's estate is okay with it, as long as it's safe to assume that the actor would not have disagreed to have done this, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. The same way that, like, when you put up a statue of, like, a war general.
Okay, all right.
Is that disrespectful? It's the likeness of the exact person you're trying to honor.
Now, but again,
how is that not?
My argument is AI didn't build that statue. A human being, heart and soul and blood and sweat and tears, and someone getting paid went into making that statue.
I disagree. I don't. So I don't think that makes the shot or the final product any better or worse, whether or not it was a human or an AI.
I think it does.
I think what makes it better, because we've seen infinite examples of humans doing visual effects and they blow. Like, it's
so
not
they
like,
blew.
oh, a human did it, so
they
it's good.
blew. But at least someone made it.
That's my point.
Okay, and there's infinite examples of humans doing visual effects, and they look fucking amazing.
Yes, you're absolutely right about that. So, all right. So my point with that is that, like, yes, the human chiseled the statue. A human being did that or whatever, but they still did it as hard as they could, 1-to-1 with the likeness of the person they're trying to do. And so is the AI, and they're doing the exact same thing. And I'm telling you, man, if you had an AI scan someone's face and then, like, 3D map where it would be on a statue and then 3D print it, that's a statue made by an AI that is not disrespectful to the actor involved at all.
Yeah, but the AI made it.
Yeah, but the AI, so it's still a statue, and it looks fine. It looks like the actor.
But it's just...
The actor's not flipping his shit because you AI generated a picture of him, you know?
Yeah, but your AI, but your guys were so obsessed with whether or not they could, you didn't stop to think if you should.
You should.
You shouldn't.
I'm saying
you shouldn't.
You should.
We have opened Pandora's box, and because of that...
And it's a better world.
What? You're saying that the fact that studios are now trying to fire writers because AI can write scripts, or fire visual effects artists because AI can do visual effects, and fire other people because AI can do that. Studios are firing people because of the AI can do the job, and the more the AI does...
When Carrie Fisher died during production of episode 9... They did the Xander approved approach of not doing anything new with technology and just reusing outtakes of her and just fucking throwing it in the film. It was terrible. It was like the worst creative decision they could have done. It impacted her story and the characters.
Yeah, well, there's about 50 billion things wrong with episode 9 of Star Wars, and chiefly being that it exists. What's a better example?
But that aspect, and like, we can talk about episode 9 a different day, but that aspect, I think, was a critical error. And I'm not saying they necessarily should have CGI whatevered her, but that is like the patent pending approved of, like, oh, hey, well, you know, we're clearly avoiding using modern technologies that we've used before to make everyone happy and appease all the fans, because that's what all that movie tried to do. And it ended up being a bland, even more soulless version than if they had just done that in the first place.
I can't.
But humans made it.
I can't believe it.
Humans made it, so therefore it's a good decision. I don't know.
I can't believe what I'm hearing from you, Jake. Look. I watched a whole video, like, talking about, like, the development of AI and, like, this whole thing, and it all started because goddamn Jurassic Park. And all I'm saying is, look, AI didn't make Thanos, okay? AI didn't do the CGI work done to create Thanos, okay? But if we continue on this path, there will be nobody making these movies by things. Yes. AI can do all this work much better and stuff like that. But there should be a line, because if we just continue to let AI do everything, things are not going to be as soulful. We've already seen this with AI generated art and stuff. Okay? I mean, I'm...
So, like, look, I feel like this is the same argument as when CGI was first invented, and they're like, well, now there's going to be more props.
No.
Now everything in Hollywood is going to be fake as
The
fuck.
difference with CGI is that someone is working on that CGI. There's a human behind
but
it.
You're now robbing the opportunity. You're now taking money out of the hands of prop makers from the 80s that were going to be employed but now aren't because you can generate all your effects. It's the same thing.
And but what did we see? But you see, here's the thing. What have we seen with CGI? People still want live action props. Now people who do more prop effects and don't use less CGI, those films are more respected. Those films are more loved. Those films, people will go, fuck yeah, that's realistic stuff. It's not just CGI. So
you're telling me after this amazing generative technology was introduced in the 80s and revolutionized things that people still use props in movies to this day and people still like them? Then what's the issue with AI 30 years from now? Because I'm telling you, people are still going to make real movies. People are still going to write scripts and shoot shit on camera and use whatever technology there is to make visual effects that exists. And they're still going to make movies made by people, and people are still going to like them. That's still going to happen. That's not going away.
It could, though. It could.
Did it? Because literally at no point in history has it ever happened with every major technology breakthrough.
Look, I'm telling you, Jake, we've opened Pandora's box. Where this is the whole point of Jurassic Park. This power has been unleashed, and we don't care to keep it in check.
I'm for keeping it in check. We'll be in the middle here. I am absolutely for putting restrictions on massive amounts of power, and we're stemming away from like movies now, but like misinformation, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna generate a video of me fucking a goat and show that to my family, well, you should probably be at least thrown in jail or fine. Like that's you're actively spreading misinformation about somebody. So there should absolutely be like a checks and balances system with AI. It's not like this creative, insane free-for-all. Everyone should just do all the stuff all the time. And not for nothing, but checks and balances already exists because of our favorite guys, the Universal Monster people. Bela Lugosi won. I think his son or his grandson was the lawyer, and he fought and won to keep Lugosi's likeness always something that goes to the family. So, like, the family of the estate after the actor has died decides what happens. So even if AI is flawless, like if you hit the AI button and you can generate Avatar 17 in 10 seconds, even if that can happen, you can't use any of the actors in that movie unless you get super duper permission from everybody. And I'll tell you what, in a world where that is true, the actors are going to get serious fucking paydays.
But here's the thing. I don't want a world where I can generate Avatar 17 in 2 seconds.
You'll still have movies that are made for you.
I don't want movies made by AI. I don't want that world where I can generate any movie I want in 5 seconds.
Well, then you better strap in for reality, because that's absolutely where things
That's
are
not
headed.
good! We should fight against that!
What do we do about it? The question is, what do we do about it, right? Like, so, like, what with this new technology, what is the best course of action?
The best course of action is not doing what you're doing and saying, yeah, we should just let AI continue to exist in these parts. We're trying to... That's why we need to cut it off here. It's starting to get too far, because if we keep letting out, we're going to find that reality. So that's why we have to do it. And unfortunately, that means, yes, unfortunately, you don't get your 5 seconds of nostalgia where you see Chris Reeves as Superman in 5 seconds. Boo-hoo, move on. I don't know what to tell you, Jake. Listen, I'm going to say this right now, considering Universal Monsters. If I, right now, today, was able to make my Wolfman Dream movie, and I had the option to click a button and have my actor look exactly like fucking Lon Chaney Jr., I would say no.
Okay. I mean, even if you had legal
Even if I had legal permission from Bela Lugosi's estate, Boris Karloff's estate, Claude Rain, Lon Chaney Jr., even if I could have every actor look exactly what I wanted to with AI, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't fucking do it.
All right. I mean, there is something to be said there, because it really depends on the context, right? Like, did you write Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein Part 2, and are you trying to make that movie, or are you just like hitting like write me and make me this own
even
thing? Like,
even if I wrote Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein Part 2 Electric Boogaloo, and I had all the characters be the same, and it's that exact same Wolfman Lon Chaney, I would get actors. Even if they didn't look alike, I would just get actors that can fill those roles. The actor that fits Lon Chaney's Wolfman the best. The actor that fits Bela Lugosi's Dracula the best. People that have soul and care about these characters, that are able to embody and embrace and do justice to those characters. That's what I would do. I would never take the option to have the AI make that look.
But what if a team of visual effects people were like, hey, we're going to hand CGI recreate their heads using CGI? But you said that was okay.
That's okay.
You said that was okay with Peter Cushing.
Whoa, Jake. I said that's okay because there's a human behind it. I didn't say I want that. I didn't say I wanted that. I just said that was okay. Okay. We're talking about devil's advocate and everything like that. I'm just saying I wouldn't do that. See, I'm putting my chips on the table of what I want, what I believe in, what I would do. This is me saying it right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. That's fair. And then I guess we've reached the end of our journey here, because that was actually that's where we're gonna probably find the dividing line here on how we feel. Look, I just want to be clear to the audience here. Look, be creative. I want people to make their own things. Don't use AI to make your own thing. Like your storytelling, what you want to do with the characters, where you want them to end up. Look, it's so important that I'm only saying this because like multiple cases now of ChatGPT prompts being left in the author's books. How many cases have there been where they are not so careless and taken the ChatGPT prompts out and just left and just like published this ChatGPT half-ass generated fucking book that no one knows about, that they think it's a person? I think that's deceptive. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's genuinely like a deceptive practice. So I'm so against AI replacing creativity. I am so for AI fostering creativity and letting your creativity shine in ways that it couldn't have without AI.
So then,
that's what I'm in favor of. That's exactly where I stand.
Okay, well then here's an interesting question. So then you're fine with what happened in Late Night with the Devil?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the extent of what went into the piece of artwork. I don't know if they just clicked the make me an artwork button, or if they actually photoshopped
No.
shit.
They just clicked it and they said generate these images.
Because I'm sure what happened is that they generated something and then tweaked it with Photoshop.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was the case, because you never. It's like when you shoot a daily, you don't just throw that in the film and you're done. You color grade it, you time it.
Well, from
you do
from
some
everything I know and read, they did just click generate and they threw it in.
All right. Well, that feels like I really don't think. But let's go with that. Even still, even if that was the worst sin ever committed by man, it is still less than 1% of the film. So like, the film should not be marred down by it. I hate that the entire film is bogged down. You know, it's a great talk, and we'll have this one too. The Brutalist, where Adrian Brody, some sections of some of his dialogue in the pure Hungarian accent, I think like less than 10 minutes of the movie, depending on, I'm not going to time it, it's a 3-hour film. But some parts where he's speaking Hungarian, some of the vowel sounds were modified using an AI re-speecher to sound more historically accurate to Hungary in those speeches. Now, he won Best Actor. That's a deserved award, because even if you hate what happened, 99.9% of what he did was unedited in any way. And people are saying like, "Oh, it's an AI performance." No, it's not. Fuck you. Like, he put the work in and he did that.
Well, in the case of the Brutalist, in the case of Late Night with the Devil, I 100% don't think, because I read some Letterboxd reviews on Late Night with the Devil where like he was like, I feel so betrayed. My entire family, heart and soul is dead. My whole night's ruined. This whole movie is completely fucking awful. That's completely just going off the gun and being incredibly dramatic, saying that because there's AI stuff in there, it ruined the entire integrity of the film. The whole film is completely awful. I disagree with that. And I disagree with saying that because some vowel stuff is done, that Adrian Brody's performance is gone. I'm not saying that if there's AI stuff in already made works that it completely makes the entire experience sour. I think that's going to an extreme side of something that just is not needed. But what I am saying is that it needs to be taken out, because if we continue on this road, that it's going to get worse, and that we need to cut it off here. And unfortunately, that means that we don't get the Peter Cushing recreation, or we don't get some historically accurate stuff. We don't get that thing. At the end of the day, art is art, movies are movies, and there's a suspension of disbelief that we all have to accept. And in this day and age, we continue to refuse to accept the suspension of disbelief, where we pick and choose, where we're willing to believe that a guy can fly or turn into a werewolf or transform into a car, but for some reason we're not willing to believe that this character is this character because they don't look like this real life actor.
No, but you've seen plenty of films where the flying effects were ass, and you did not, in fact, believe that a guy could fly or a guy could turn into a werewolf.
Okay, but that's the thing. If we keep practicing at it, it looks good. Eventually, it does look good.
Yeah.
I'm just if Thanos had come in early 2000, he would have looked like bad. But the reason why he looks so good is because artists have been working on CGI since then. Yes. Scorpion King looks awful. But because Scorpion King looks awful, that's how we got to Thanos looking fucking amazing.
We haven't touched on this a whole lot, but like CGI has used AI just in the fact of processing, like Caesar with Planet of the Apes, right? So like it's not like a human painted each strand of hair on Caesar's head in every frame. It'd take 10,000 years to make that movie. It's obviously they generated some textures around the apes with 2010's technology that could do that.
Yes. But again, like I was saying with my examples and stuff, those textures were created by a human.
Not always. Sometimes they are generated. I know it's like a bad word, generation, but like they, these programs like Houdini, like they can do these like fluid sims, cloth sims.
Well, now we're going AI into things that I have no idea about. I don't know what I'm talking about, but
right. I'm not exactly a visual effects expert either. I'm just saying like these computers, Photoshop has used AI for decades. Like the replacement tool, the stamp tool. So like. It's just, for me, it's like this is the next logical extension of what computers have always done, which is help people.
And
I'm so for
and
it.
I think I'm not. I think it needs to be cut off here. I think we need to stop.
Let me go. Tell me, how's your night going? Hey. Listen. Whoever you are, just please let me go. Please. No.
And we're not going to. And eventually, our world is going to become Jurassic World Dominion, where we have flying locusts and Sam Neill losing a hat that he got saved from Jurassic Park 3. I don't know what to tell you.
Yep. Yeah, womp. Dominion could have been so good, man.
I
could
like
have been
Dominion.
so much better.
I enjoyed Dominion.
It's a real mixed bag. That's like its own hour-long talk. Film right there.
That's an episode in itself. Jurassic Park franchise, which will probably be next month's
I have to rewatch
episode because of Jurassic Park Extinction, or is it Rebirth? It's Rebirth, right?
Rebirth. It's way too soon to rebirth it. It's only been like 3 or 4 years, but like what, they're rebirthing it.
I don't know. It's interesting. I'm excited.
They gotta make their money.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited for the movie. I'm a Jurassic Park fan. Through and through. I don't know. Are you excited for it?
The trailer looked like total dog shit.
Oh, God.
So like probably not, but I'll probably see it.
Here goes this man. Here he goes. All right, we're back to it again.
I know. I'm popping off. What can I say?
Can't you just enjoy dinosaurs, Jake?
Of course I do. I said I'd see it still. Like I don't like the story of Ballerina, but I enjoyed the shit out of Ballerina. Maybe Jurassic Park will do that for me.
ScarJo fighting dinosaurs. What more can I want?
Yeah, if you have higher expectations than that, that's on you. You know, it's just it is what it is. It's fun.
It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I think we've done our things to death. I mean, let me ask you this actually, just because I did bring it up.
Yeah.
If you could make your Universal Monsters film, you could make a Universal Monster movie, and you could use the likeness. If you had the option to click the button, would you click the button and generate Bela Lugosi and Lon Chaney?
So I will say this, out of curiosity, absolutely. I would absolutely see what happened just to see what the hell's going on. And I think you would also say yes for out of curiosity as well.
I don't want to know.
On. Not even just to see what it would be.
I don't care. I don't want to open the box, Jake. I don't want to open the box.
Box has been open, bro. We're living in the box of the world. The world is the box, and it's big open.
Hypothetically, in the hypothetical world, if I open the box, I'm not opening the box. But anyway, so you're opening the box. Continue.
Yeah. So, out of curiosity, I will indeed, like, I'll see, like, what the hell could this AI even do? But, like, in terms of, like, you know, putting my name on it, selling it, probably not, because it feels inauthentic in the sense of, like, I would rather have written it, and I would rather have directed it, and I would rather have made it. You know, so if I make it... Now, if the question is, like, let's say I shot and produced a film, ship-shape, top to bottom, hunky-dory, let's go, and I'm given the option to now AI their faces
that's what I'm saying.
into
yes, that's
whoever.
What I'm saying.
If that's the question at hand, I don't know. The real answer is I don't know. I think what I would do is pull a Zack Snyder and do the Justice is Grey edition. I would do a authentic Lon Chaney Jr. edition on the DVD. Be like, hey, this is what I did with some fucking cool shit, this technology, and now it looks just like one of those films. But I release it as like the, you know, Benicio del Toro. I don't know who the fuck's playing these people.
Absolutely awful.
That's what I'd probably do.
Absolutely awful.
That's not awful. What? I'm giving the world what they want. I'm giving them the movie that you want, the normal one. And then, you know, if you're curious, you can check out this weird fucking thing.
Okay. Well, you know what? At least your answer is consistent with your strange takes on AI, Jake. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm that alone on it. But,
I don't know. I mean, have you gotten any responses
disagree.
on the comment section of that video? Have you gotten much?
No, actually, that video didn't perform as well. Not because of what I said, but because I think that the thumbnail wasn't as clickable as my other ones. So I've only gotten like 2 or 3 comments, but they're all just like anecdotal pieces of information. They're not like people saying what you're saying, where it's like this big, you know, perspective and stuff. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is I appreciate you, Xander. I appreciate you taking the time to sit down for 2 fucking hours and go through this really in-depth, complicated subject that neither of us are experts on.
That's true. You know, I think the funniest thing, too, is just that in your video you were, like, saying, well do you care about, like, you wouldn't have this, you wouldn't have this, you wouldn't have this. And then the one person that's responding to you is the guy who wouldn't have minded not having this or this or this or that. Like, I don't care about the Fast and Furious franchise. I don't care about the Superman characters in the Flash. I don't care that much about Peter Cushing. I'm the one guy who's like, yeah, fuck AI Leia.
Well, because the alternative is just a guy who isn't that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let that guy be.
I don't know.
But
exactly.
We're going around.
Like we're agreeing.
We're going around in circles, and for once, I'm the, and for once, I'm the people's man.
Fair enough. Yeah, you do have some wild unpeople-like takes, which we'll probably get into on the next.
I know. For once in my life, I'm the voice of reason here. I'm not the wild take out of here. But
must be first time on the show.
It's a crazy feeling, I gotta tell you.
All right. Well, yeah, that'll just about do us.
Our
anyway.
show. I hope you.
I'm all AI'd out. I've talked so much that I'm now generated into an artificial version of myself.
We've done our take. You know, all that said, I still thank Alexa, and I'm very nice to my Alexa, and I'm very nice to all my Siris and my Googles and stuff, and I try not to be mean to them, because when they do take me over, I would like them to remember that I was nice to them. So, you know,
that is humans thinking that technology is empathetic like humans.
Well, you know what?
That is what that is.
You know what, Jake? There's that whole.
I'm just
listen. As I always say, do I believe that if I pull out the Ouija board and mess with it, that I'm gonna become possessed? No. Do I want to chance it? No.
I could chance it. I could fuck around. That sounds fun.
All right. Well, that's our show. It's almost a 2-hour based off the runtime. Thank you very much for listening. Jake, do you have any closing thoughts or anything you want to say?
No, that was a pretty impassioned discussion there.
But yep, that's our show. Thank you for listening and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.